of the meeting. And I want to introduce Anissia. She's our speaker today. And as I already said, Anissia is polyglot, journalist, PhD in philosophy of language, a very experienced professional in international communications in different intercultural relationships. Yeah. And today we will speak about communication and marketing epic failures and successes in different advertisement campaigns. Anissia, now the floor is yours. Please briefly introduce the topic of today's class and one more organizational issue. We are working today about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So plan your time according to this information.
Okay, thank you. If I'm talking too quickly and you don't understand me, please raise your hand, and I know that I have to stop and talk slowly because I want to be understood. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so in the last meeting, we talked about intercultural communication. We think that communication is an easy process once we have found a common ground, a common language, but it's not. This is a misconception. Communication is, oh, that's a Katerina who is trying to connect.
Yeah.
I will wait a little bit.
Katerina, can you please switch on your camera? Because we are going to share some opinions, and it's super great if you also can share your video.
Hello, nice to. I'm driving now. I can switch on, but I'm not sure that I will look. Yeah, a little bit later if it's possible. Thank you very much.
Possible. Okay.
So, the communication process is a really complex process and is full of pitfalls. You know what pitfalls are? Potential mistakes, potential traps, and errors. And when we fail a communication process, we can face a lot of problems: economical damage, reputational damage, political damage. So we will see today a catastrophic marketing failure made because a company was not sensitive to intercultural communication. Intercultural communication is communication faced by people from different countries, different religions, different background, different studies, different age, different ethnicity. We tend to think that we are similar. Well, we are all humans, of course, but we have a lot of differences, cultural differences, that can damage the communication process. So if you want to communicate with someone, if you want to sell something to someone, or if you want to persuade or to convince someone in a negotiation process, you need to be very, very careful about the cultural differences. So we will see one epic failure, and you will see it in November 2018, so before the coronavirus epidemic. Dolce and Gabbana, they are two Italian designers, fashion designers, and many, many years ago, they founded a company, a brand, Dolce and Gabbana, which is a brand of many, many, many products, including shoes and accessories, not just dresses, or garments, underwear. So it's a multinational company which sells almost everywhere in the world. Dolce & Gabbana experienced a catastrophic marketing failure in China. that resulted in a massive brand boycott and a significant financial loss and a great reputational damage. And I want you to see what's happened. In November 2018, Dolce Gabbana released a series of videos, promotional videos that you will see for an upcoming Shanghai fashion show. They were thought to be one of the brand of the participant. So they wanted to reinforce the Dolce & Gabbana brand to be, stronger during the Shanghai fashion show because they wanted to better penetrate the Chinese market. You know, Chinese is a very huge market, and there's a lot of middle class and rich people that can be potential customer to luxury brands like Dolce Gabbana. So they launched a series of videos to be released everywhere, including a lot of social media. So I will show these videos and without any kind of comment. So you are not in order to let you completely free to judge these videos. These are in Chinese, but it's not important to understand Chinese. I mean, the situation is clear because it is a video. So let's see them. Okay.
玛格丽特披萨饼，欢迎收看 Dolce and Gabbana 起快吃饭第1集。今天我们首先要向大家展示如何用这种小棍子形状的餐具来吃我们伟大的传统玛格丽特披萨饼。你们是不是一手拿一根像小刀一样切一块披萨饼呢？不是这样。对，这样就对了。所以就是像钳子一样夹住一块披萨饼，直接送进嘴里。哦，别让奶酪滴下来。Bravissimo！ 面，欢迎收看 Dolce and Gabbana 起快吃饭第3集。来到最后一集，让我们挑战传统的番茄酱意面。尽管你可能以为跟吃中国面条差不多，实际上吃的方式还是大有不同，没那么简单。试试看，把筷子插入面条，夹起它，对，夹起它，然后卷起来。能成功吃起来的人将会得高分。Bravissimo！ 啊，你的手链真是太漂亮了。意式香炸甜卷儿，欢迎收看 Dolce and Gabbana 起快吃饭第2集。今天我们要吃的是传统的西西里香炸甜卷儿。终于有一个尺寸不那么让人手足无措的食物了，这是不是太夸张了？来，拿起筷子，在手里整理成钳子的形状，夹起一根甜卷儿。对你们来说还是太大了吗？你们还可以把一根筷子插进甜卷里面，像这样吃，这会让你感觉自己身在意大利，不过你是在中国。Bravissimo！
Okay. Could you see them?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to tell me, what do you think? Please try to imagine yourself, to put yourself into the Chinese shoes. So imagine you were a Chinese, and remember that Chinese people have 4,000 years of culture and civilization. So try to imagine to be a Chinese and tell me, as a Chinese, how do you think about these videos? Yes.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that Italian Dolce Gabbana impose their food and moda, как это мода?
Fashion.
Fashion, yes. And it's like sarcasm. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
If
Sarcasm
I
imposing.
if I
Yes.
were Chinese, maybe I don't like this reclama.
Yeah.
Advertisement. Mhm.
Yes.
Dennis, what do you think?
I think that this video show that Chinese people is silly, maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Not even people, but women. Chinese women are silly
Yeah.
and very primitive.
Yeah. You know, did you see the pizza and the pasta? Not a normal size, a huge pasta, huge pizza. And it's so to put that girl, the Chinese girl, in a very difficult situation. Katerina, what do you think about that? If you saw the videos.
Sorry, yes, I saw the video. I think that it showed. I don't think that if I was Chinese, I like this video very much. I don't know. It's about Italian culture that Chinese can't grab. I don't know, can't eat, maybe.
Yeah. So
something like this.
Okay. Okay, you like it. What happened? It happened that these videos were widely perceived as racist and culturally insulting because the male voiceover was a little bit condescending, humiliating the girl. So it was also full of misogyny, you know? So it was not funny. It was humiliating and insulting. This was the reaction of the Chinese. They thought that the Chinese were portrayed as primitive and incapable of eating, of eating a foreign food, which of course is not. I mean, um, because they were portrayed as using chopstick. But if you go in Shanghai, in Beijing, in a lot of restaurants, you will find forks, knife, and spoon. As in Western, they are not primitive and capable of using just chopsticks. They can use every kind of, cutlery. They use fork normally. So this way of portraying was received as insulting, And what happened? Can you see me? You
Yeah.
can. Yeah. Okay.
You mean what were the consequences of this campaign? Yeah.
There were immediate consequences and also long-term consequences. The immediate consequences was a massive public backlash, a lot of criticism, especially on social media, and hashtags calling boycott towards Dolce & Gabbana product became viral. You know what's a boycott?
Yeah, we know. And what is Bastrat? What is
Hashtags are those.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtags. Yeah, sorry.
Hashtags. Yes. So the boycott of the products of Dolce Gabbana went viral, and influential Chinese celebrities condemned this video. This was immediate, but there were middle term consequences. The show of Dolce Gabbana in the Shanghai fashion show was cancelled. They could not participate anymore. Major Chinese retailers, like I have to read, Tmall, JD.com, and others, they had 140 retailers in China, removed the Dolce & Gabbana products from their online or physical stores. And China's consumers organized collective boycott, and many celebrities released video during which they were destroying Dolce & Gabbana bags. This in the middle terms. And in the long terms, the financial impact was horrible. Dolce & Gabbana lose billions of US dollars in China. Billions, not millions, but billions of US dollars.
How many?
Oh, I don't know, because they never revealed exactly. They never said, but billions. And there was a significant decrease in the brand value and reputation. They had to face a reputational damage. And you know, a reputational damage is not something you can fix in a couple of months. It's something that requires a long time to be fixed, years, not just months. And they damage their presence in the China market. So I want to make you see some videos about the consequences. So you will see the reaction of the Chinese and also their sense of humor, because they did a video that was reversed. It was an Italian people trying to eat some Chinese food. So we will see these two videos about the reaction. So, okay, so let's, okay. Let me see a little bit. Okay. Wait. Okay. 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 Can you see something?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what France 24 English reported this scandal. Okay?
Charles Pellegrin has more.
It all started with a series of videos that was posted by Dolce & Gabbana on their Instagram and then on the Chinese version of Twitter called Weibo. And those videos basically present an Asian lady dressed in traditionally, stereotypically Orientalist garb, trying to eat traditionally Italian foods with chopsticks. And if that wasn't offensive enough, then at some point it turns into something quite crass when a male voice comes as a narrator and asks if a cannelloni that the model is trying to eat with her chopsticks is too huge. And that was obviously enough to set the entire Chinese internet ablaze. It was the top trending story on Weibo on Wednesday afternoon, and there were hundreds of millions of comments underneath these videos on Weibo, people calling it crass, condescending of Chinese culture that has a millennial tradition. So it really provoked the ire of the Chinese consumer. And this got worse with the apology from Dolce & Gabbana, with people saying that the apology is not enough, and they are the people asking Dolce & Gabbana to leave the country, that they don't want their brand, they don't want the clothing here in China. And this led to, obviously, as you explained, influencers and celebrities boycotting the brand as well. And the Dolce & Gabbana was supposed to have a fashion show this Thursday evening, and they had to cancel it this evening in Shanghai. Dolce Gabbana has stores in about 25 cities. This is according to their website in China. And the Chinese consumer market for luxury goods is, I think, was worth about $72 billion last year in spending. And other figures have it as Chinese consumers represent about a third of all luxury spending in the world. So it's a huge market. And Dolce Gabbana has to, will probably pay for their mistake here.
Okay. And now we see, okay, so could you understand?
A Chinese woman attempts to eat pizza with a pair of chopsticks.
Could you understand that video?
Yes.
Okay. So this was the immediate reaction. So they gave you some numbers about the huge loss of money, billions of money, because the Chinese market is 1/3 of the world luxury market. So it was, just some stupid, insensitive videos, which were not intercultural, attentive and careful, caused a very huge loss of reputation, money, brand value, So now we saw what happened 1 month after. So this was the immediate reaction. Now we see the medium-term reaction after 1 month and the damage that was linked.
A Chinese woman attempts to eat pizza with a pair of chopsticks, while a male voiceover gives her directions. This clip, posted on Dolce & Gabbana's social media accounts, sparked fury in China, with accusations of racism and cultural ignorance. If they continue to adopt this vicious attitude, then of course we can't accept it, and we need to boycott the brand. But if they apologize and truly recognize their mistakes, it would be understandable. We think Dolce & Gabbana's ad was biased and showed misunderstanding towards China. We feel very uncomfortable when we see it. To make matters worse, the brand's co-founder Stefano Gabbana, known for being outspoken, later appeared to insult Chinese people in a private chat on Instagram. The designer later claimed his account had been hacked. In a statement, Dolce & Gabbana described the events as unfortunate. But the damage was done. Calls for a boycott ensued. The Chinese government even weighed in, calling out the fashion house for lacking respect. All in all, a PR disaster. China is a huge market for Dolce & Gabbana. A recent study shows that consumers there account for 1/3 of global spending on luxury goods. The brand had been hoping to make a major splash with its Shanghai fashion show. Instead, it's managed to become the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons.
Now, the backlash in China is strong and the fallout is growing. And to take us through this a little bit more, we have DW's social media editor, Carl Nasman here. Carl, Italian luxury meets one of the world's largest consumer markets here. How much trouble is Dolce & Gabbana in?
Yeah, they're in trouble. We could put it that way. They're in trouble. Dolce & Gabbana, these ads are not being received well in China. We can start by just showing you some of the fallout on Chinese social media, where many are calling out the company. And you can see that even includes the company's own brand ambassador in China. His name is Carrie Wang. Here he is publicly actually resigning from that post with a scathing letter that he just posted to Weibo, that's China's version of Twitter. And Estelle Chen, she's a Chinese-French model speaking out here as well. She says of the company, you don't love China, you love money. China is rich, but also rich in values and culture, and the Chinese won't spend a penny on a brand that does not respect that. There's been plenty of backlash from Chinese citizens as well who saw these ads, and that can be summed up pretty well in a really well done parody video of those ads. Here's a little bit of it. Take a look.
Chinese 包子. Welcome to the Dolce & Gabbana Inspired Show. Eat with Fork and Knife, Episode 1. Today we are going to show
See
you.
there on the right, the parody video, a kind of the opposite, right? A Western man struggling to eat Chinese food with a knife and fork. You know, how do I do this? Of course, the joke is it's ridiculous that Chinese people wouldn't know how to eat pizza, right? As for those original ads, they've been taken down now in China, but they are still available right now. I just checked before the show. They're on Dolce & Gabbana's Instagram account. They're still up.
So their own spokespeople are coming out. Consumers are coming out here. The parody video is right there. Pretty funny. What does Dolce & Gabbana itself have to say? They're still running the ads, you said. They don't seem very receptive.
No, the company did release an official statement on some of its social media channels. You could kind of call it a semi-apology. Here's a bit from that letter. It says in part, what happened today was very unfortunate, not only for us, but also for the people who worked day and night to bring this event, referring to that canceled fashion show, to life. From the bottom of our hearts, we'd like to express our gratitude to our friends and our guests. I mean, what's missing from this statement, right? The words, I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't find it there. Now the company is in more trouble yet again. Apparently, screenshots have surfaced that allegedly show a conversation with Stefano Gabbana in which he makes more insulting comments about China. He says that's not him, that his account was hacked, but clearly the anger is far from over in China.
And just to be clear, this is an executive from Dolce & Gabbana or an official from the company?
Yeah.
So what does this potentially mean for the company? Again, one of the world's largest consumer markets here. You probably don't want to anger it.
Yeah, I mean, this could have a pretty big impact on their bottom line. I mean, the company's products, as you mentioned, they've been pulled from online retailers. They're also being pulled off shelves, real shelves in stores in China as well. And it's a big market for these kind of luxury brands, right? Chinese consumers spent more than $100 billion last year on luxury items. That's nearly 1/3 of the global market. So they really can't afford this kind of bad publicity.
So a lot at stake there. Carl Nausman, DW social editor, social media editor, thank you very much.
So you will see what other people said about this and how Chinese reacted. They used even humor, not just anger. The video of the Italian man trying is funny, but this gave you the measure of their damage. Really, it was a great damage. So what do you think Dolce & Gabbana should have done instead of this? What do you think?
Before or after this?
Before, to avoid, yes, to avoid these horrible mistakes, which it looks like a stupid mistake, but it cost billions of dollars, so it's not as stupid as it looks, you know?
I think they should collect focus group with Chinese people, show this video for him, and see, no, and they should see their reaction about it. And their opinion about this video.
And this is interesting because what you are saying means that they did this video without any Chinese collaboration. They had no Chinese manager with them. They probably didn't ask the opinion of Chinese managers, Chinese retailers, Chinese feedback about that. And they had no intercultural marketing expert to release this video. They were completely ignorant of Chinese culture. And yes, so this is the first mistake. If you want to conquer the Polish market, could you create something without asking the reaction or the opinion of Polish expert? No. This is a globalized world, but we have to collaborate because we are culturally different. And what looks like a funny joke in Italy can be insulting and offensive in China, and vice versa, of course, you know? So they have to be to give more attention to the cultural differences, but they didn't because they were ignorant. And this was, the main accusation, not just racism, but ignorance. They want to conquer our market. They want our money. Dolce Gabbana want our money, but they do not know our culture. Nadia, what do you think about that?
I think that maybe they should to know more about Chinese culture and to know what style of humor they have and what can injure them. Maybe so.
Yeah, yes, this is interesting because we have different sense of humor. This is true. For example, do you in Western countries, you can make a joke even with God. And we did it. We did make a lot of jokes even with God. But in a Muslim country, can you do the same? No. No. If you, yeah.
Certainly no.
Yes. If you make a joke or even, cartoons with Allah, they react in a very bad way. While in Europe, well, in Italy, there's a lot, which is a Catholic country and very religious country, but we have lots of jokes about God, So we have different sense of humor. Yes. And
and I want to ask you one question. Am I right that Dolce and Gabbana they didn't excuse about this situation? They just put from our bottom of our heart. Yeah, am I right?
They did not say nothing about, we are sorry, we are very sorry, it was not our intention, we made a mistake. No, so they never said something bad. They react badly, saying in a private conversation, oh, Chinese don't understand, don't have any sense of humor, don't understand, which made things worse.
Yeah,
I made things worse. So if you make an intercultural mistakes, for example, you have to explain that you did it in good faith. And you are sorry if you were misunderstood. But if you are presumptuous and if you put yourself up and the other down, makes things worse. And it's a very bad mistakes. And in marketing and in negotiation, if you do a mistake like that, you lose money, you lose power, you have an economical, a political, a personal loss. And some kind of loss cannot be fixed in short term. So Dolce Gabbana is still, now we are in 2024, and Dolce Gabbana is still fighting to enter the Chinese market because, it's still a damage. So 6 years have passed, and this is still a problem for them. The good news is that this epic failure, which actually is studied in university. So this Dolce & Gabbana case is very much studied in marketing, communication, intercultural communication in many business school and university. This failure, this epic failure, it act like an industry wake-up call. Many brands, and not just luxury brands, but many brands owned by multinational corporate and international company realized that they have to become more cautious when they try to launch their product in a foreign country. So if you are Chinese trying to enter the Mexican market, you have to be more cautious and more attentive. If you are a Switzerland watch company trying to make a fair in Indonesia, you have to be more careful about your colors, because even colors, not just the sense of humor, but colors are different. You know that. What's your color for death? What do you think is the color of death, of grieving?
For example, in Western countries, it's black.
It's black.
Color. And in Eastern countries, it's white.
Yes, in Japan, for example, it's white. So you cannot launch a product with a white packaging because it's, it's something that reminds them of death. Okay? So, you have to be very attentive to a lot of aspects. If you want, for example, Nadia, you want to be a web designer, but you have to be attentive to the use of color, which can be different in different countries, for example. And logos and shapes and names and jokes and sense of humor. All these aspects can be different. And so if in a personal communication, we always can ask sorry, we always can say sorry if I offended you, I didn't know. So it's easier to fix. When you are on a commercial side or on a negotiation side, these can be very, very serious mistakes, So if in private things are easy, for example, once I was in Indonesia and I had some ham. You know ham? You know ham? Nadia, can you translate ham? Ham is
a meat.
It's a meat.
Yes, it's a pork meat. Yes, and I tried some of this ham in Indonesia, and I cut a slice of this ham, and I passed the knife to my Indonesian guide, and he was horrified because they are Muslim and they cannot use forks, knives that have touched pork meat. And I didn't know at that time. I was younger. I didn't know. So, but I tried to make him understand that I didn't know, that it was my fault, that I was so sorry, and he laughed. So, in a private situation, you can always fix. But when you are on a job level, political negotiation level, or on a commercial level, you cannot do this kind of mistakes because they can cost you a lot of money and reputation. And, it's hard to fix it. And so we have to be aware of the southern nuances that make us different. We are similar for million of things, but we are different in hundred of things, So even the personal space, for example, think about that. You are going to a bus stop and there's a bench. What do you do? What do you do?
I will sit.
Yes. And you, Dennis?
Who is the last?
Yeah, and Nadia, Nadia Shostakova, you will sit. Yes.
Maybe at first I will check, is it dirty or not dirty? And then I will sit.
Okay, so usually when I do that in Italy, and the bench is empty, I sit on an end to leave the space for the other people, But Italian people, well, I have an American imprint, so I need quite a lot of space around me. But Italians are not. Italians love to touch each other very much. So if an Italian lady or an Italian man comes to wait for the bus, they usually sit just near me, their legs touching my legs. And this is It's so embarrassing. I don't like it to be touched by people. But in Italy, they do a lot because they need less space around us. For example, in Finland, they need a lot of space around them. If you sit on a bus, you don't want nobody near you. If someone sits near you on a Finnish bus, Finnish people react standing and going on another place. So they need a lot of space around us. They need to be touched by strangers. So we are very different, even in this little stuff. So, for example, in Asia, a lot of Western people touch the child on their head to make, sort of, then it's a tender attitude because Western people, usually adults, love children. So they, oh, nice, you. And this is horrible in Asia because only pedophile people touch the head of younger children. So the parents got angry immediately, So we are very, very, very different.
Yeah, so I also wanted to match this point that you have already said about people from Finland, that they can understand it as a dangerous situation when somebody is coming closer to them.
Yes.
The same as in China for Chinese children.
Yes. It's a sort of, invasion. It's an invasion. So they react aggressively to this invasion of private space. While in China, people push you normally. Yeah. So, yes. So we are very different. If you have a job meeting with a Japanese, probably most Japanese will shake your hands. But if they're not very well used to Western users, they will bow simply and they don't want to touch you, for example. Asian people, except for Chinese, don't greet themselves touching their hands. They just bow, or they put their hands together, but they don't touch, themselves. In a Muslim country, a woman cannot touch a man and vice versa, for example. Why in Italy, people who do not know each other usually kiss on the cheeks, even if they don't know. When I'm it's common. When I'm presented, for example, a friend of my friend, this is Liza. Oh, yeah, Liza, mwah, mwah, mwah. That's normal in Italy to kiss someone you don't know, on the cheek, of course. So we have to be a little bit more aware not to disturb other sensitivity. So, but on a personal level, things are much more easier. On a job level, a commercial level, things can be very complicated. And if you fail, well, you must face a disaster.
Anissia, perhaps we can ask our participants, perhaps they can give an example of their own lives when they meet, when they faced with such kind of situation. Perhaps Nadia, you have something to tell us, and Dennis also, please, can you share such experience and we can discuss it?
Yes, I have similar like our, I don't know the name, sorry.
You can say it in Russia, and Nadia.
I can translate.
Я немножко забыла имя женщины, которая нам сейчас все рассказывает.
Anissia.
Anissia, да. Anissia told about knife in Indonesia. I have the similar situation. Yes, my father is divorced with my mom, and his second wife is from Morocco. She's Muslim, And this summer I was in Morocco with my husband, and we had a dinner, and there were circle table. There were 6 people, and there were a big plate with rice and chicken. So we start eating, and there is in the middle of this table, it was a big plate, and each people had small plate to eat something. So you can take some rice and chicken in your plate and eat it. So my husband, he eat all in his side, no, сторона.
Right,
Yes,
yeah, you're right.
yes, and he wanted to eat more, so he take chicken on the other side of plate, and all Muslim people watched so no straightly, yes.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? It's not correct, because you have your own side, and if you want to take from big plate somewhere in the another side, you should ask that people, can I take some chicken from your side? So it was confused, and we all laughing, but we don't know, we didn't know. They say that, okay, it's normal, just no.
Yeah. On a personal level, as I say, you laugh and you apologize and you say, I didn't know, sorry.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. But it happens when you travel, it happens every day, especially with distant cultures. In Africa, for example, or in Asia, or I saw this several times. Dennis, have you got some experience?
No, it's a pity, but I don't remember
Any kind of
any situation about this.
And you, Nadia Shostakova, do you remember something?
Yes, I can mention one case when I studied at Warsaw University, and we had a chance to celebrate New Year, 2021 New Year, with Indian people. And they used to eat with their hands.
Yeah.
And I was really shocked. They prepared some very interesting food, such I don't know how to explain it. It was very spicy. It was and spicy and sweet from
Yes, at the same time.
at
Yeah.
the same time. Yeah. And I was surprised that they were eating only with their hands. So their own food only with their hands, and they teach us to do the same. So only once. And I want to tell, for example, Dennis, that it's super. Traveling to different countries, it can broaden your mind very quick way, because you faced this not from books, not from different videos, and so on and so forth. You faced it by yourself, and you can understand, and you use this experience in you not use you take this experience in your heart.
Did you see Indians doing this movement?
Yeah, and also, Anissia, they go into toilet with water. And also they are going in toilet with the water.
Yeah. And they always do this movement. And what do you think it could mean? Nadia, Dennis, what do you think it could I thought they do
Maybe
it.
Shaking head?
Shaking
Yes, like that. They see at you. If you ask something, they see at you and say that like that. Well, For us, for many.
Maybe it's like pray
No.
in the mind. They're
No.
seeing maybe.
We say no like that. We
Uh-huh.
yes like that, and we say no like that. So when they do like that, many Western people thinks they are saying no, but this means yes, yes, means yes,
Mm.
yes, sir. So if you say something to an Indian employee and he looks at you without saying nothing and doing that means yes, I will do it. So yeah. So
Anissia, and I know that you are a great expert in African culture. And do you mention some details, for example, about communication with the people from Africa?
yes. Yes, this is a funny. This happens to me in Togo, which was not a tourist country. It was 24 years ago, and we were a group of French and Italians traveling through Togo, and we had a bus for us with a guide and the driver. So they were two young boys, the driver and the bus, local from Togo. And well, African food is really it's really strange. We don't like it very much. I mean, and first we cannot eat raw food because it's dangerous for Western people. So we have to eat cook food, and cook food is just potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. So after 1 month of potatoes, and you're really. So we eat always roasted chicken and potatoes every day, roasted chicken and potatoes. So, and we used to eat everything of the chicken, and we used to leave, the bones of the chicken.
Yeah, bones. Yeah.
And that was normal for us. And the guide and the driver every day were so furious at the end of the dinner, so furious. And we said, why? Why? Because they expected to be invited to eat the bones of the chicken. Yeah, and when they told us, but we are expecting you to give us the bones, we were, what? And this, this was a fail because we should have asked them, would you like to eat some of the bones? But we don't eat bones. I mean,
yeah. Very weird situation, very strange.
It was really weird situation. And another situation. We were in Benin. And, this is a French-speaking country. And we enter a village, and the guide told us, please, we can visit this village, but at the end, you should leave something to the children, and something like a biscuit or something like to eat, or a pen, or if you have some paper, and if the children are going to make some drawings for you, and you have to leave them something. This is an exchange. And so we prepare something for the children, packet of biscuits, sweets, and stuff like that, and pens and paper. But the children, whereas a lot of children, a lot. You know what's happened in Western countries is outside the school, you have gift for the children. What happened? Well, in Italy, children, oh, me, no. They start fighting to get a gift. Well, that's normal. In Italy, that's normal. And in America, in US as well. If they know you can have a gift, they fight between them to get that gift. And we start to giving gift to the children. But at a certain point, the elder, the teenagers realized that we had no gift for everybody. We have lesser gift, and the children was a lot. So what they do, the elder children, 10, 11, 13, 12 years old, they put the younger before them to have the gift, and they went at the end of the line because they knew that there was nothing for them, but they put their brothers and the little children behind, in the front row to have the gift. And I was left so so surprised, because in Western country this attention, it doesn't exist. I mean, the children fight to get something free or a gift.
Yeah,
They are
the same in Belarus, and I really also surprised because it's like noble behavior of adult of children who are more elder than younger.
And they were children with no shoes, and just a very dirty t-shirt. But they're noble, really. And I was so surprised. And one of the French girl started crying because it was so touching, so emotional to see the elder to protect the younger, that she started crying. So if you travel, you will see a lot of this situation. And a lot of differences. So we are human, but sometimes the way in which we lived, it's a condition. It's condition ourselves to be in a certain way, and we can be more kind or more close to people according to the way we lived, And so I think that we should be more open to the differences and more, empathic to others, and try to understand what is different among us. So, and that's so sometimes these differences are really surprising, like that in Africa, you see people doing things that, primitive
you
people
don't expect. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I understand why they wanted the bones of the chicken, because they were so poor that they could see a chicken once in a year. So just having the bones was a sign of wealth.
Yeah, and for example, they can use these bones for preparing soup or something like this.
Yes. So, so this is something we should take more care. The cultural differences. So if you have it can happen if you're talking with a person which has a different background or which has a different age, people younger or elder than you. And you have to try to modify your kind and style of communication to be understood. Because if we should understand each other, probably we won't fight each other. That's, yeah. If we could negotiate and talk and understand our differences, we should not fight, or we should fight a little bit less, which would be a great success in this world.
Yeah, I fully support your words, Anissia. And now I wanted to ask our participants for 1-2 minutes of feedback of our class, because our time is coming to the end. And just perhaps a few minutes of your feedback about our class. Was it interesting for you? Was it something new facts or interesting cases? And yeah, can you please, Nadia, start? Or can we start with you?
Okay, I'm glad to enjoy your club because for me it is важно, important to learn English, and I like this style, how we talk, and we are talking about important things, important for me because web design and marketing is very close to. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, so cute.
Sorry, my kitten.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What is his or her name?
Her name is Kira.
Kira. Nice. Nice to meet you here, Kira, on our class. Dennis, and what about you? What about your feedback, your feelings?
I'm glad to hear with all of us. I want to say thank you for Anissia for such interesting, понятно, как это?
Easy for understanding.
Understanding speech about intercultural differences. My English is not very good, but I understood very much because you said very interesting and
Easy to understand.
and easy to
Understand.
and it was very easy to understand your words, your speech.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for you.
You're welcome.
I said a lot of us about a lot about you. Не said. I heard a lot about you and that you very interesting woman and
thank you. Thank you.
And speaker as well.